guys, what is up? Welcome to another video. Ooh, 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 ooh. How have you guys been? Oh my goodness, it's been so long and I just missed y'all. I know I don't have a big following, well, like a really really small following, but I appreciate the few people who show me love, like truly. Y'all are amazing. Today's video is super exciting. I've been wanting to straighten my hair for a very long time and the day has finally arrived. My hair is probably really dry, but that is why I got my handy dandy, you know, my favorite spray bottle. I actually had to get rid of, oh, why does it look so nasty in here? We have water shading. So water shading is like load shedding. I called it water shedding because load shedding is when our electricity gets put off by the government for like hours. And today when I decided that I want to film a video doing my hair, they decided to put the water off. So it's been off all morning, all day. I just had to make a plan for y'all, you know. I just had to make a plan. I couldn't really clean this bottle as I would have liked because I didn't want to waste water. I had like a mixture, like a leave-in conditioner, but now I got some plain water in there just to dampen my hair because I don't like blow drying my hair when it's dry because I feel like it tugs on my hair. And then I also have these two heat protectant spray mists. When I used to wear my hair straight all the time, this is what I used. And then I bought this, my last blowout that I did, which was like a year ago. This one is from Tony and Guy, and then I have this one from Tresemme. I also have this Oh So Heavenly serum. So it's supposed to like tame your flyaways and stuff, and I'm pretty sure this is not curly friendly, so don't come for me. It smells really good and that's why I took it, because I'm going to use this to like seal my hair once it's done blow dry, just to give it like that extra shine. And then I have this thermoceramic Denman brush, and I bought this with my last blowout also a year ago, and honestly I did not like this brush when I used it. It made my hair super bushy. I feel like this is more for coarse hair and I fine hair, but this was really expensive. According to my budget, this broke my bank, so I'm like, I'm going to use this until it's, what is the word, until it's not usable. I can't get to the word, but until it's not usable, because I'm not prepared to spend some more money and just have this brush go to waste. Yeah, I'll catch you when I'm done blowing my hair.
I belong to you. I belong to you. Do just what you want. You're the one I trust, and I always be around.
Oh, and this is just like a regular hair dryer. I think it's Safeway. Yeah, it's not fancy, it's super old.
Yeah.
Seems like I'm really killing my hair, but this is what I do when I straighten my hair. And my ends are super damaged, but I'm going to cut them when I do my curly hair, my outdated curly hair routine. And now what I like to do after I've blown a section, I just curl it up into a little ball.
Take me to your heart. I belong to you. Take me to your soul. No take it away, feeling too good to me. Chilling all day, all in your space is where I wanna be. Here in this room, what did you do? I just can't get enough. Too caught up in your love. I've been trying to forget, but you won't let me. Something in my brain wants you. I've been hanging by myself, asking for help, but nothing seems to work on you. Yeah, you always make me feel like home. Yeah, you never leave my thoughts alone. Yeah, you're the reason I'm going out my mind. I just can't stop thinking about you. All that I crave when you're away, nights are sleepless. Do we need space? Yeah, maybe a break. Boy, you're my weakness. Give and we take, the love that we make, it's my favorite drug. Too caught up in your love. I've been trying to forget, but you won't let me. Something in my brain wants you. I've been hanging by myself, asking for help, but nothing seems to work on you. Yeah, you always make me feel like home. Yeah, you never leave my thoughts alone. Yeah, you're the reason I'm going out my mind. I just can't stop thinking about you. You got me feeling some type of way. You make me wanna stay in all day. You're the
Okay, y'all, so I'm all blown out. Hair is looking crazy. I'm so hot, like I'm dying. I put my hair in this swirly for about 30 minutes just for my hair to set so it's not static when I'm straightening it.
I just can't stop thinking about you. I just can't stop thinking about you.
And what I like to do is spray some perfume in here so that my hair smells good. And now I'm going to look like a boiled chicken, and I'm just going to relax now, and then I'll catch you in a little bit.
2 hours later.
Hey you guys, so it's much later and our water is still off. I was hoping that it would go on by now, or that it would be on. It's so hot. I want to talk about my school experience from grade 1 to grade 12. So just as a little disclaimer, I do not intend to badmouth anyone, or I do not mean to badmouth anyone. I hold no hate, no grudges against anyone that I might mention in this video, so please, this is just me sharing my school life experience from my perspective. This might come as a shock to some people, but elementary school or primary school was not easy for me. I think first grade was like the worst year of all the years. The hair straightener that I'm using is, I don't know if it's Babyless, so I'm trying to hide this finger again. Can you? I think the reflection, but it's Babyless or Babyless, either one. I feel like there's too much noise in my house right now, and I'm honestly just annoyed. So as I was saying, first grade was like the worst year for me. It impacted me a lot as a kid, and I feel like that's why it just stuck with me, and I feel like it's those traumatizing memories that stick with us for a long time. It's either you block it out and you can't remember it, or it's just like embedded in your memory. So I've always been a very artistic kid, like from a very young age. and going from preschool to primary school was a big challenge for me. Like, I was struggling, or at least it felt like I was struggling. I felt like I couldn't cope with the work, so I would struggle with simple tasks, and the only time I would shine would be in arts and crafts. And I was that kid who always daydreamed. Like, I was always in a daydream world. I always zoned out while the teacher was talking innocently. Like, I didn't know I was doing this, and I didn't know like this was bad. I could never focus on math or reading, and my first grade teacher noticed this about me. She noticed that I would zone out and I would doodle, and I would say it frustrated her because she had to now put more effort into teaching me because I couldn't understand. She had to be more patient with me, and that frustrated her. All the kids around me were acing their task and I just felt alone. She never made it easy for me because her frustration showed on her face, and this made me even more anxious, just seeing her being mad at me. And me personally, when I'm anxious, my concentration is completely disabled. I was 6 or 7 years old, right? And I couldn't understand, so I would be like in a frozen mode because now she's mad at me, like, and I don't understand why I can't like get this. Like, everyone is getting it, like, what's wrong with me? She also had favorites in the class, the smart ones, and she made sure that she made it known that they're smart, and that made me feel even more alone. Like, oh, why can't I be like them, you know? Why am I struggling? I don't like the way this is tugging on my hair, like it's pulling it. Maybe I should put like some oil on there. Let's try. I'm gonna put some silicone on my swirly and then put it on to this thing. Wish me luck. So as I was saying, she had favorites in her class. Ooh. Oh no. Oh no, oh no. Oh no. Okay. And there was one particular instance that stands out to me, like I can remember it vividly. I think it was towards the end of the year when we had to do an exam, and I remember just struggling with this exam tremendously. I was struggling so bad, and time was going by and I just couldn't figure out. I wrote nothing. Like, if I didn't know something, I wrote nothing because I don't know like what goes in there. And this annoyed her because she's like, just write something, and I'm like, I don't know what to write. And time was going by, y'all. The kids were leaving one by one. I could just see kids leaving, going home. Eventually I was the only kid left. So I was sitting at my desk and she was standing like right here, like hovering over me, and that just made me more anxious. Telling me like to just put something in there. And next thing I knew, she hit me on my head. Like, come on, like, you stupid. I was already just anxious because she was standing there and I didn't know what to do. And then when she did that, like, I completely just switched off. I wanted to cry so bad, and I didn't want to disappoint her. I felt like I deserved that because I'm wasting her time. Like, I'm stupid. I don't know what's going on. I just thought of myself as this dumb little girl who didn't know how to complete simple tasks. It's kind of difficult telling a story and then also like focusing on my hair because I want my hair to turn out good. I didn't tell my mom what happened because I felt like it was my fault and I didn't want to get into trouble, so I just kept it to myself. Remember my first YouTube video I made? I said I'm a very closed off person, and that's why I created this channel, to be more open. And I feel like I shut down the world, or I shut out the world starting in grade 1. I feel like that's when I started just keeping things to myself and just shutting out the world. My hair is really thin. So my friend who I posted in my curly hair routine video, who inspired me to go natural, her mom used to take care of me while my mom was at work. So her mom would take me to school and fetch me from school. Her name is Susan, but we call her Sus. This particular afternoon, you know, that whole incident happening, the whole hit on the head, Sus fetched me from school. She noticed that I was sad. Normally I was really happy to go home. Like, whenever she fetched me, I was really happy because I didn't like being at school. So she saw that I was sad and she asked me what's wrong, and of course I didn't tell her. I was like, you know, I didn't say anything. And she kept like saying things like, you know, if that teacher hurt you or if she said anything bad, I'll beat her ass. But she said this in Afrikaans, which is like more aggressive. And when she said those words, I felt so happy. And as I said, I didn't tell my mom. My mom is the type of person, when you come to her with a problem, she's going to ask you, well, what did you do to cause that reaction? I knew that it was me. You know, in my head, I was like, it's my fault. So I don't want to get into further trouble. So I'm just going to keep it to myself. And also, weirdly enough, this teacher was everyone's favorite teacher. That was that with the teacher. And then, unfortunately, that was not all I had to endure. In first grade, the teacher's favorites, you know, the smart ones I told you about, they bullied me. So break time, they bullied me. I didn't enjoy being in class, and then I didn't even enjoy being outside. Playtime wasn't fun for me. Being in class wasn't fun for me. That's why I said I just wanted to go home. I was happy when it was home time, and that's why Suze noticed that. Like, girl, what's wrong with you today? You know, you're always so happy. You happy. My hair's really long today. Hey y'all, I'm back. I know you might be a little confused, like, why do you have this on again? Well, there was too much noise going on in my house, so I just had to wait for it to just like quiet down a bit. So I'm back, and hopefully I don't have to stop this again. I had a friend named Tanya, so she was my only friend. She lived in my neighborhood and my mom knew her mom, so it was kind of just like easy like that. So I had her and I loved her to bits because like she made me feel less alone. We would spend our lunch breaks together, and the bullies did not like this. They did not like that I had a friend now and I wasn't alone anymore. They tried to bring her over to their side, and eventually it worked and I was alone again. So they got my friend to join their little crew. That wasn't enough for them, and they just continued making fun of me. I remember going home like every few weeks. I'd go home with a broken jersey and I'd get into trouble. It was them. They would like tug on me and shove me around, and that's what they did. And I remember I would have like snacks and stuff, and then I would take my jersey and I'd put it like on the floor. I don't know, from a young age I've always been like a neat freak, so I wouldn't want to get dirty like my dress and stuff. So I'd take my jersey and I'd put it on the grass and I'll sit there and have my snacks and stuff, and then they would come and they would rip the jersey from out of me. But as time went by and the years went by, the bullying, it just got easier to cope with. But unfortunately that led to me treating my friends that I have or had at home very badly. So I would basically bully them. I was doing to them what these kids were doing to me at school. I didn't understand why I was doing this to these kids, because I knew those bullies at school made me feel so bad, but yet I was doing it to the friends I had at home. Hurt people is so true, because I was hurt, so I was hurting other people. But like I said, the bullying at school became less, and for some odd weird reason these bullies eventually became my friends. I never felt that it was genuine. I always felt like an imposter, felt like I didn't belong. It just wasn't genuine, and I still felt so little about myself, because even in the friend group, like I would be sitting with them, but they would be, it's like I'm there but I'm not there to them. Nothing I said, nothing I did was ever like acknowledged. Like if I say something, it's just like they didn't hear me. That made me feel very little, and they would always like make little remarks. That's why I just ended up keeping quiet. I was just quiet. I remember going home and crying, but of course I made sure no one would see me cry. So I felt really ugly in primary school. And I remember this one particular day I came home and I was crying, and then I was praying. I was like, God, please make me beautiful. Y'all, God did his thing, okay? No, I'm not being arrogant, but he gave me what I asked. Primary school wasn't all bad. There were a few teachers like Mr. Horn, Mr. Potgieter, Mrs. Charles, who made me feel good, who acknowledged my creativity. They made me feel good for who I was, and that it did something for me. It did something for me that finally there was people that understood me. And then it was time for me to go to high school, y'all. Your girl was ready for high school. I was excited for high school. I seen this as a clean slate, a fresh start. I told myself, no more bullying. That's what I had in my mind. There was one incident, the first year of high school. A girl that bullied me in primary school was now in my class in grade 8. And I remember we were lining up for this particular class, so we were outside of the class lining up against the wall, and we were waiting for the teacher to allow us into the classroom. So this girl was in front of me, and then she seen that I was behind her. She was trying to get under my skin and like tease me and stuff, and I remember she pulled my hair. And y'all, I don't know what came across me, but I had books in my hand, and I took those books and I hit it over her head. Like what? What are you thinking? You, little tiny girl, what are you thinking? And let me just add this extra information. I was a skinny little girl, and this girl was like one punch and I'm all the way in Canada. I think I just had enough. I just refused to relive the past. I was like, I'm not gonna live through this in high school as well. And I knew the moment she turns around, it's over for me. There's this girl that was behind me that we kind of started talking in class, and she's like a steady boat. Let me translate that in English. She's like steady boat. She's behind me and she's seen this whole thing happen, and she kind of could tell that I'm the person that hates confrontation and I don't fight, and she's seen this happen. She stood up for me. She fought this girl for me. They were literally fighting. She had nothing to do with it, but she came and she just like saved my life, and I was just in shock. And from that day on, no one in high school ever messed with me. I went through high school, except there was this one time. It's not a girl that was at my school, but it was a girl that was from my neighborhood. But before I get to that, me and Shanique would, the girl that saved me from this girl punching the ish out of me, but me and Shanique, we became friends, and we would walk to school together, we would walk home together. She lived really close to school and I lived like super far from school, so in the morning I would walk to her house, get her there, and then we would walk to school. And then in the afternoon, she was so kind, she would walk past her house, because like I said, she lived like basically opposite the school, and then she would take me like halfway home. There are good people out there. One day when she was taking me halfway, these 3 girls that I knew from my neighborhood that didn't like me for some reason, like I was very to myself. I seen these girls and I was like, oh, trouble. And they approached me. Basically they confronted me because one of the girls thought that I liked her boyfriend and I was trying to steal a boyfriend. I didn't even know this guy, or I did not know him. Shanique knew that I hated confrontation. I'm the type of person to walk away. I don't fight. No, we don't do that over here. I was like, I don't know what's gonna happen now. She's like, girl, I got your back. But luckily it didn't end up with no meeting, as it was just like little debates and stuff. I want to give a shout out to Shanique. If you ever see this video, thank you for being my ride or die. You know, you always had my back. Ironically, guys, many years later, after this whole incident, this girl who thought I liked her boyfriend, we saw each other at a funeral. Someone in my neighborhood passed away, so we went to this funeral. Then when the funeral was over, we were in the passage and this girl comes to me and I'm thinking, girl, we're at the funeral. Why are you trying to start trouble? And she comes to me and she's like, I want to talk to you, meet me outside. I'm like, are you kidding me? Like, are you still onto this drama? I don't know your man. That's what I'm thinking in my head. But something in me told me, like, just go. The person who passed away is actually my friend who inspired me to go natural. It was her cousin who passed away, so she was also at the funeral. So I went to her and I told her, listen, this girl, you know, that doesn't like me, she wants to talk to me outside. She's like, I'm gonna be there for you. Like, y'all, I always had people there for me. So I went outside and to my surprise, this girl apologized to me for all she's done. And I was in shock. I was like, what? how brave of her to come and apologize. People do change, and people can change if they really want to. And shout out to you, girl, if you ever see this video. As far as education goes, I did way better in high school than what I did in primary school. I was an average student until one day this strict, intimidating sir who everyone was scared of, one day he called me aside, and this was in 10th grade. I'm like, why is he calling me? And he says, I see a lot of potential in you. Those words changed my life. From that day on, I worked my butt off. I studied so hard. I became one of the top students just to prove him right. Shout out to you, sir, Mr. P. Off the section of my hair, and I just had to like stop with my story because I was realizing like I'm not getting done with my hair. As an adult, these events would replay in my mind, and it was only until I embarked on this spiritual journey that I realized I had to heal the little girl in me. I've just been on a healing journey, and this is just one part to my story. There's so many other things that I had to endure outside of school, but I don't regret anything because it molded me into the woman that I am today, and I'm so grateful for everything that happened in my life. Things work out exactly the way it's supposed to, and maybe at that moment you don't see it, but later on you can put the puzzle pieces together and you're like, oh, that's why I went left and not right. Makes sense now. And I know there are many women and men out there that need to heal their inner child, and I pray that anyone who sees this video finds some sort of healing. I know this might be nothing compared to your story, but this is a part of my story, and the moral of my story is that teachers are important. Teachers play an important role in little kids' lives. They don't get enough credit. Shout out to all the great teachers out there changing lives. Another lesson to my story, like I said in my Be There For Yourself video, do not allow the opinions of others to validate you. I allowed it for so long, and it caused me a lot of pain. Remember that you have greatness within you. God created you to be great, but you have to believe it. Even when all of the world says that you are not, you have to believe that you are great. And when you believe that God has instilled greatness within you, girl, you're going places. Boy, you going places. I'm just going to try and finish my hair now because it's really late. It's almost 1 a.m.
So do what you want, baby. You and me in the sun. Know that I still be here when the day is done. So come a little bit closer, and I'll tell you what I feel inside. You know I'm gonna wait on you.
I'll be doing the thumbnail today because your girl was so tired. The blowing process took really long, y'all. I was like, why is it taking this long? I feel more me when I have my curly hair. With this hair, I just don't know how to behave. Like, I hope you enjoyed watching my video. If you did, please give me a big thumbs up. Also, click that subscribe button and turn on the notification bell so you are notified every time I post a new video. Bye! this confidence is coming from.
Oh my god, you for real? No, you for fake.
I'm gonna show you guys what my hair looks like, so I'm going to zoom out. Oh, not zoom in.
And the promises we made just seem so hollow and weak, and we're about to break. We have to remind ourselves, 'cause we know.
I hope you took something positive away from the message. I hope you took something positive away from the message I had. I know I was speaking in a probably in a I don't know what's going on. I can't speak. Okay. I know you probably will.
And the weight that's on your shoulder, I'm gonna carry that